Hello, Counseling 500 students. I wanted to pop in with a quick video just to go over some of the basic things that I would have shown in class. Just a basic overview of the library's website, which is an easy online portal to a lot of the resources you'll be using for class and for your research throughout your St. Mary's career. The library new website just launched this week, so if you've used it before, yes, it looks a little bit different, but it functions pretty much the same way. Right here at the top of the page, you have some very basic navigation. So for instance, you can see the hours that the library is open. You have a quick link to chat with a librarian, either online, or it gives you ways to send us an email or come see us in person, give us a phone call. You can also view some of the services and support that are available to you as a student. And then there's some special collections and about the library information that are interesting but not necessary for your research. The basic parts of the website that you'll want, scroll down a little bit. And again, we have a quick link to view the hours. You can also book a student study room. So if you want to work alone in some more quiet, or if you have a couple of your classmates that you want to work together on a project with or just study together with, you can book one of those rooms online and then just come pick up the key and then you have that. There's also a quick link to view if we have your textbook on reserve. So if you want the textbook for the full length of the term, obviously you have to go to the bookstore for that. But if you are coming to class and realize you forgot your bag and you need to bring your textbook to class, you can see if the library has a copy that you can borrow for 2 hours. Also, sometimes in your other classes, faculty may put things on what they call course reserve, or a book they want you to be able to check out quickly and not have to buy, or maybe they've scanned some articles for you and they haven't put it in your online class website, then maybe they've put it here. But for research, there's a couple things that you really want to focus on in this library website. The first one is the library search box. So what this is a search engine that looks across multiple database platforms. So you've probably heard things like JSTOR, sometimes people know it by brand names, EBSCO or ProQuest. PsycInfo is something we're going to talk about in a little bit. This box searches all of those databases at one time. It doesn't search all of the databases we have, but it searches most of the ones that you'll want for articles and books and videos. It also includes our book catalog, so anything that we have in ebook or print book will come up here as quickly. So if you know a book title, you can just enter right into the search box, and there you go. Let me try just something very brief. Counseling and careers. Why not? And let's see what happens. So library search, again, connects you to multiple databases at one time, and it also connects you to your library record and our catalog. So you can see right when you put in something, it says sign in to get complete results. It's good to sign in, and I'll show you why. It'll be just your St. Mary's username and password. I'm already logged in another window, so it's not going to ask me that again. You'll see right up in the corner, it'll have your name, and that means this is going to save all of your search history. So if you're doing a search, you can save it here. You can also go back and see your search history, your favorites. So if I'm looking through some of these and I'm like, oh, this is a great one, Guide to Careers. I want to save this to look back at later. I can add this item to that list. Let me look at this one here, throw that in there, and then I'll be able to go back and look at my favorites. And in your favorites, you can create different labels and you can organize things. If you have any books checked out, you can also see that to see your loans, and you can request those. You can renew things. My requests, if we find something or we're looking for something that we don't have, we can request that for you from another library, and that's how you will be able to access that. And actually, let me go ahead and show you that. So we did a very basic, counseling and careers, and maybe I'm going to add in high school. So maybe I want to be like a high school counselor. Let me add in another word there just to get these results a little bit smaller. So you'll see we've got results there. We can look just at the articles. We can look at dissertations. We can look at just books about the topic. I always start a search very broad and then narrow down on the side. So I start with whatever topic I want, I narrow down to the articles. If I want to change the date, so a lot about careers have changed since 1923, so how about we just say the last 10 years or so. And then we can refine that search. And it's going to kick out all the old things, and of course our search results have gone down a lot. If we just want articles, we can click on those. If we want specifically the peer-reviewed articles, we can show only those. So now you can see why I like to really start broad with just a bunch of keywords, and then I can use these to narrow down a little bit more. If you're getting a lot of things in other languages, you can limit by language. You can also, again, starting really broad, you can limit by subject as well. So if you're getting a lot of things that are related to business, and you're like, I don't want business things, you can go and say, I just want the education things. I just want the school counseling things. So that's a good way to get started. We're down to 461 results. That's usually a pretty good amount of results to go through, but just in case we want to look beyond that, you're not limited to just things that St. Mary's has. You can get things from other libraries. So when you're signed in, you have this option to expand your search. And this is going to do the same search with the same filters for articles in what it calls the resource sharing index. And these are all the different libraries that we are partnered with or in a consortium with. And that includes a lot of local institutions, but also all of the CSUs and also things nationwide. So if we don't have something and they have it, we can request it from them. So let me scroll down and see if we can find one that's not available to us. So for instance, developing mobile-based career counseling. It doesn't say available online. It says get it for me from other libraries. So we would just click on that. It's going to search for offers and say get a digital copy delivered in 24 hours. You would click get it, and it goes into the system, and you'll get a copy in 24 hours. The other library will see the request, they will scan it, and they will send it. This is a really good way to expand book chapters or articles. If we don't have it, that's fine, we can request it, and this is all free of charge for you. So if you need an article and you're finding it online and you need to pay $55 for it, no, don't pay for it. The library will help you get it. The other thing I want to show you on this website is the research guides. So below that search box is a link to research help, where again we have a way to contact a librarian. We also have frequently asked questions. We have some online tutorials. Some I will share with you as well. But we also have these research guides. And we have a different resource guide put together for each of the disciplines or subject areas we teach here at the college. So scroll down a little bit to counseling, and you will see that, you will see there is a link to counseling. And on this first page, it gives you some quick links. The first quick link is to library search, which takes you right back to that home page where you can use that search box. Again, gives you a handy link to chat with a librarian. It gives you some more information about resource sharing, again, borrowing things that we don't have. And it gives you a link to the authenticated Google Scholar. And some of you have already probably used Google Scholar to find resources. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But the main thing is, if you're searching Google or Google Scholar from off campus, you're going to get shopping carts. So they're not going to know that you have access to a subscription through your institution. So if you access Google Scholar from this link, it will tell Google that you are a St. Mary's person. It will probably require you to log in with your St. Mary's email and password. And then it will take away all of the shopping carts and paywalls for things that we subscribe to. So if you are a big fan of Google Scholar, definitely use this link instead of just going straight to Google Scholar. Another good thing about this page is it gives you some again, step-by-step instructions. It gives you some background information. It gives you some more guidance, how to get started with your research. Again, it gives you some ideas. Start with library search is always a good idea. Gives you some information about handbooks. Handbooks, or other tertiary sources as we call them, are kind of like the scholarly Wikipedias. And if you need some more background on a theory or a definition of a topic, go here. These are the best places to get the scholarly information about a particular topic. It's not original research, it's not studies, but it's good background information. And then there's also a link to articles and databases. And this is an important thing to point out. So I mentioned library search looks at many different databases at one time, but it's very generalized. Each database is its own silo, and it has its own special add-ons. And for most part, it won't really matter too much. But in counseling, sometimes you're going to get very specific limitations, like I only want certain kinds of studies. Library search isn't able to be that granular. It can't limit. We already saw what the limits are. It's like limit by date, limit by subject, limit by resource type. But it doesn't have specific things like age ranges or types of studies. You can go directly to the PsycInfo database for that. And again, you'll want to use the St. Mary's link to that so that it tells EBSCO, the owner of PsycInfo, that you have permission to see all of the results. So if you can just Google PsycInfo, that won't help you very much because it will limit a lot of what you see. Again, we can do our similar study or similar topic here, counseling, or let's just do career counseling. And you'll see as you start typing it, it's going to give me some suggestions. So we know from experience that career counseling and career development are kind of the same topic. The database itself doesn't know that unless we tell it. So that's what that OR is for. We can type career counseling or career development or vocational guidance or vocational counseling. We can put all those ORs in there to say, I don't care what the article says, any of these terms is fine. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to add in an OR there. And we're just going to hit search. We're going to find probably a lot of results. So here we go, lots of results. So again, we're like, well, we're specifically looking at high schoolers. We can use that and to put in high school or secondary education, or high school students or teenagers or secondary schools or adolescents. That looks pretty good. Let's try that one. So that's going to limit it down. So now we have two different terms and we want both of those at the same time. So we're going to get fewer results when we hit search. Ta-da! There we go. So much easier to go through 10,000 rather than 600 something thousand. We have the similar things on the left-hand side where we can link to or limit to specific years. Again, maybe we want the last 10 years or so. It's going to update that, so now we're down to 2,000. Even better. Maybe we want, again, just the academic journals. We can use that limit, kick out the videos, kick out the book chapters, kick out the dissertations. We just want the books. And here's the advantage of using PsycInfo directly. We still have the subject, we still have the publisher, the language, but you can also limit by age here. So if we didn't want to put high schoolers specifically, we could use the age limits here. And we just want just the ones in adolescence. We can also limit by gender if you're looking at an issue that is particular to gender. They do have a notification for non-binary, I do believe. They also have methodology, so you can limit not just to the articles, but to the empirical studies, which I'm sure you'll talk about the difference in class of an empirical article and a lit review or a meta-analysis. So if you just want original studies, someone did a study about a thing, you can limit that methodology here. If you're looking specifically at longitudinal, how did something change over time, you're going to be able to limit to that methodology as well. So let me click on the empirical studies, and these are all going to be original research. Someone did a study. Again, you can look at population. This is where they have the different populations. Sometimes it'll be inpatient, outpatient, animal. They have female, they have male. Usually they'll say human subject. So if you have a different specific population, you can limit there. And also if they've used some kind of test or measurement, they'll be able to show you here, and you'll see the different kinds of tests and measures that are used in that particular area. So it's a really good way to explore things. So say you find a really good one, like for instance, here's this one, exploring the impact of career guidance intervention programs in school. Sounds pretty good. We can click on that and see a little bit more about it. It'll almost always have an abstract or a summary, one of the first things you'll want to look at in an article, and it will also have subject headings. So you can see, I always think of these as like the Twitter hashtags of research. Every specific topic is given a specific subject heading, and humans go through and look at each article and assign it into one of these controlled vocabulary, one of these subject headings. So if you find a good article, you can then look at the subject headings to find more things that are like that. So I think we looked at career counseling, vocational. We didn't look at occupational. So there's another word that maybe we can add to a search. These are clickable, so then you can just see all the things that come up under occupational guidance. I love looking at the subjects and the abstracts to just find new words that, oh, I hadn't thought of that term. Let me write that down. I'll look for that term later. It'll give you some other information. This might be useful to you. This particular study was done in Romania. So maybe you're like, oh, I just want US-based studies. We'll have to, kick this one out. But it's a good way to see in the record really quickly of where this study was done. If all that is great and you're like, this is fabulous, I want this article, usually there'll be a link right over here on the side to the full text PDF. And ta-da, there it is. There's the whole thing. So you can download it, save the PDF for later. Okay, so that's using PsycInfo. I always stop here and say my very bad librarian joke of why we call it research, because we search and then you re-research and then re-research. So give yourself some time and throw in a lot of different terms and see what happens. Maybe you were getting too many false hits, maybe we're still getting too much. Maybe we want to go back in and add in that occupation. Maybe we want to add another term, another theory. You won't break it. So just throw in a bunch of terms and see what happens. Here I'm going to add a very important caveat. So you notice probably it looks a little bit different than this one. It is a different vendor. So that means if you put in things in a folder, it's going to forget. It's not tied to this library search. We wish EBSCO and ProQuest would get along, but they still don't get along that well. So here you would have to sign in and create an account. And what I do is I've just used my St. Mary's username and password. I've continued with Google, used my St. Mary's login, and then I'm able to make lists within PsycInfo as well. So the benefit of using PsycInfo is you have those additional refine results features, but the drawback is it's not connected to the library search where it's already connected or saved all the things and remembered your history. You'll have to sign into this one separately. You will find everything, all the results that are in PsycInfo, you will find in library search, but again, it's just the filtering issues. You don't have the nuanced specific filters within library search yet. I think that pretty much covers most of what I wanted to share. Again, you can go directly through the research guide for counseling, but if you know specifically which database you want, you can click on the database list and scroll down to PsycInfo. But I always recommend to students go straight through that research guide. That's like your home page, your home base for your subject area, and you'll be able to find whatever you need. You'll notice also that there's on the front page, there is a link to information about citing things. So let's scroll down to, I need some citation help. Maybe you're new to APA format. We do have some helpful guides. So that's our own little cheat sheet of how to do APA format. Both of these resources, both the EBSCO one and the library search one, will have that little citation button, which will give you a citation, in progress, in APA 7th. Always double check it. Like, I'm looking at this right now and I notice that it's not completely correct because it's missing the author's first initial. So you always want to double check it with the cheat sheet that we have or your own APA manual, but at least it gives you a good start. It's almost all correct except for that first initial. PsycInfo has that similar thing. It's over here on the side where it says cite, and it will give all the different citation formats. This one also looks a little bit incorrect. It's got a weird little dash in there. I'm not quite sure why. So always double check it, but it will give you at least give you all the information you need for your citation. Of course, this is a video, so you'll be able to go back and watch anything or re-listen to anything. But if you forget anything or just need help specifically with your topic or your research, come over here to the chat with a librarian, and that will connect you to the library reference desk. This isn't a bot. This isn't like ChatGPT. It is actually coming to a St. Mary's librarian. So put in your name and address just in case we get disconnected, and type in your question. As long as we're on the desk and able to answer these, we will chat right back to you like your Comcast representative. But again, we are St. Mary's librarians, so we know the different resources and we can help you with anything. The chat's really good for trying to get access to an article that you have a link, but the link's not working. It's a great chance to chat with the librarian, and we can figure out what's going on there. Also, citation questions, those quick transactional things. Chat with the librarian is really, really great. You can also come by and visit us in person. We are in the library and that central reference desk. No appointment is necessary, but you can always make an appointment down here, book a consultation. If you know exactly what time you want to be here and you want to take a good half an hour one-on-one, you can go ahead and book an appointment with whichever librarian is available first. And you can also send us an email. We do answer those as well. So no question too big or too small. If we're not on the desk, so we are usually 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. most days. If you have a really burning question at 9 p.m., send us an email and we'll answer you when we get right back at 9 a.m. the next morning. I mentioned that I would mention Google Scholar a little bit more. I will send an additional video that goes over the pros and cons and the good uses and the drawbacks of Google Scholar, so that will be in a separate video. And you'll probably get more in depth with that in later counseling classes, but I said I would share that, so I'll go ahead and share that. That covers it pretty much. Get in there and play around. I mentioned they call it research because you search and you research and you research. So give yourself lots of time and give yourself lots of grace and lots of patience. Research, and my other thing that I always say is it's like driving in the Bay Area. It will take longer than it should. Something will always come up, and that's fine. So give yourself lots of time, explore, and the purpose of research is not just to find answers, but to find new questions that you didn't have, or into new roads to drive down. So keep an open mind, throw in a lot of things, collect a lot of things, and learn from all that you gather. And we, the St. Mary's librarians, are here to help you. We're professional research and we love this stuff. So no question too big and too small. Chat with us if anything comes up. So welcome to the wonderful world of counseling research, and we hope to see you soon.